clean up some of the junk around it so I can get to the sand. And we used a grapple to clear some of that up, and the backhoe to kind of dig some stuff up. A lot of that sand's going to go, or dirt's going to go over there where the pad for the new, well, not new, for moving the shed to will be. So, I don't know. If you guys want to see the play-by-play for this, or just see it after it's done, let me know in the comments. Well, we'll see if the aperture kicks in, and it does okay. So I got a lot of this rubbish cleared up. I made a big old pile. That'll be compost, or I'll have to sift through it and pull the bigger pieces out of that. But got around that tree. I couldn't get this tree to come down. It's still pretty solid. It's a pine, so its root goes straight down. But found some treasures. What's left of an old wheelbarrow and some kind of a Roman pillar. It's not very long. It only goes into there a little bit, but just past that palmetto. But I got a lot of this cleared up, so a lot of this dirt here is now going to go just past where that roof line of the old chicken coop is. So I will probably work on that tomorrow. Yeah, right in kind of that area there is where all that dirt's going to go. And then I got another tree over here. That one, that's that other pine, kind of in my way. I'll have to get it out of the way here shortly. Mosquitoes are coming out though, and I turned the lights on, so of course they're going to swarm. But anyway, that was my work. Well, we're getting a little bit of rain. I still got my work shirt on, so I can't get too dirty. But I wanted to kind of give you an idea of what I did out here now that it's daylight again. So I was using the rake here. It's actually a grapple, but I was using it as a rake. It's kind of got tines on it like a rake though. So I use that, and I reach out and I grab onto the soil, and I kind of rake backwards with it, dragging all of the junk with it, so I end up with just dirt left. And there's the wheelbarrow that I found, and I think you can see the top of some kind of a Romanesque pillar there. So that was what I did most of yesterday. Well, not most of yesterday, just in the evening. I made this big pile of just all of this debris, the vegetable matter, if you will, and made a pile of it, so that what I have left here is mostly just the sand and dirt and such. The problem I have with this little Kubota tractor, it's a great tractor. It's a super Swiss Army knife. It can do just about anything with the attachments, PTO, hydraulics, front, back, all that kind of whiz-bang stuff. Slightly modified by me. But the bucket has just a straight edge. I don't have a toothed bucket. So every time it runs up against a root, a vine, something like that, it just kind of stops and tries to push on it. It doesn't have enough power to slice through it in any way, shape, or form. So I've got to have fairly clean dirt to be able to pull it up. Because what we eventually want to do is move a lot of this soil that's here over to where I'm going to put the shop pad over there. So that's the plan. I've also got to be careful because there's a real big dip and a hole in this space. So got to be a little mindful of how I drive around in here. The bulldozer that came through from the fire department when previous owner had fire here took a little bit of this and mounded it up. So we're just trying to flatten that out. And I'm going to use that again to pull back and make that mound. So that's the story. We're going to see how putting the bucket back on this thing now works to move dirt. All right, so there's that straight edge. It is kind of like a knife, but there's just not enough sharpness, and I don't think I'd want it that sharp, and not enough oomph from this poor tractor to be able to push through and slice things. So dirt I use has got to be pretty clean for this thing to go. with that being clean, there's a little bit of junk up in there. It works pretty good. Makes scooping much easier. So I will take this load, mosey it on over to where we're headed. And get her done. Sorry, I had to, it's getting a little off balance, so I had to drop the bucket down a little bit. So, really we need a little bit more dirt in this spot here. It's pretty low. So there we go. We'll go around and do that about 25 more times. The bucket on this tractor is maybe, I don't know, a quarter of a yard, maybe a third of a yard, if that. So, makes this a little on the tedious side, but it definitely is better than a wheelbarrow to get her done. Just back around, speed back about where I want it. So that's about it. Whoops. Getting get my hand in the right spot. Driving a tractor with a load when I can get a little off camber is definitely a safety issue. But see if I can get her managed. My right hand that I'm holding the camera with is the one I would use for the bucket. And if I get a little on the tippier side, I want to be able to drop that bucket down and save myself from tipping over. But yeah. Like I said, about 24 more times and I'll have it. I'll show you kind of what I got at the end here. All right, so I got quite a bit of this dirt moved. Not sure, probably won't show up. It just looks like sand stuff in the video, but I got quite a bit past that tree and so forth. And I got a lot of it moved. It's a little easier to tell over on this side because it's the dark stuff. There's a little bit of grass and the light gray sand, but kind of filled up that. It was, I don't know, I probably did 30, 35 buckets. And it's getting close. So hopefully it will work. I can get this a little more leveled. I don't want it perfect, but I need to make sure I can get the shop leveled. I will probably use some cinder blocks around the edge, or I may build a wood frame or something to give me an idea of what it looks like. But what we're doing this for, I don't know if I've shown you the other shop. So I'm walking down this road, which is kind of behind the shop and so forth. But that shop or shed there, I got to grab onto the back end of that with a tractor, kind of drag it around the corner. That'll be entertaining. And get it over there, and that's right where we were making the pad for it. So then it'll be out of the front yard and so forth. I got some more of this wood to move so that I could swing with that. That is my wood splitter, and I need to get it into the shed or the shop at some point. Move these barrels, but this is that's the building we're going to try and move. So maybe I should power wash it while it's still somewhat close to the hose. Just an old shed. Anyway, so that will then free up a lot of this space up here. We won't have the eyesore. People will then wonder what this weird sidewalk was that goes to nowhere. And I can tell them, oh, it went to the old shed that was there. Then the eyesore in the front yard will be, well, I'll move those barrels and such, will be the well. So I'll just have to dress up the well. that project is going to be taking some of this sheet metal over here and dressing it up. There's the cinder block I'm going to use maybe for the foundation, prop it up level, the shed, and I can even use some of that wood over there as a bit of a foundation to help get it along. But that's the story. I'll have to try and figure out if I make this multiple videos or if we just I hold on to these and cobble them all together with how this thing went. I don't know. The rate I do projects, this is, an hour and a half after work. It's not my full-time gig here. But we'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching, and more coming.